Most Project Zomboid stories are about surviving the undead. This story, it's about surviving everything else. A few months ago, I started something different. A challenge of isolation, survival, and self-reliance. This is the story of one man who walked away from the comforts of civilization and walked straight into the woods. Our story begins in early April as Forest Woods, a botanist who just quit his job and left it all behind. A coworker dropped us off at a restricted nature reserve. We told him a friend would be picking us up in a couple weeks, but we both knew that wasn't true. Our top priority is shelter and fire. Shouldn't be too hard, assuming we find what we need. We still have a low foraging level, but you have to start somewhere. We're able to build a campfire off of the bits of stone and wood we foraged on the way over, but we need a sturdy stick to light it. One of the goals I have out here is to get over my smoking habit. The withdrawals are going to be tough, but it'll be worth it. My background as a botanist gives me a huge advantage out here, as a lot of the mushrooms and berries out here are poisonous. I think I'd be too afraid to eat any of them otherwise. It might be a while before I'm preparing full meals. First foraging trip was successful, now I have food for the day. That's foraging level 1, first of many hopefully. Ooh, what do we have here? I think I'll name him Barry. With Barry by my side, I'm already feeling a lot more confident. I came out here with barely any skills, but Barry and we're gonna change that. There's no time to dawdle. Winter's coming, and my brain's already buzzing with crafting ideas. Makeshift tools, improvised clothing. Let's just see how far we can take this. And with that, we've lit our first fire. Now we just need to gather some grass to weave into sheets for a tent. With the sun starting to set, we lay down our tent and can relax for a minute. With a moment to rest, it's a good time to make some plans. After the first day, we have a bit of breathing room. My biggest goal for this journey is simply to create a home that I can be proud of, and a day-to-day life that's better than what I had in civilization. I go to bed satisfied after a good first day. I wake up chilly, thirsty, and really craving a smoke. It's time to get to work. I'm also reminded of the brilliance of modern crafting as my axe breaks. I can munch on berries and mushrooms all day, but I'll be in trouble without fresh water, and to do that I need to boil it. So I carve a couple of bowls. I found a water bottle out in the woods, so I fill it up from the bowls and get back to foraging. Before I go, I also start making my first meal, a stuffed pepper. The withdrawals mean I'm constantly stressed, and without good food, I'll quickly become depressed. Out in the woods, I'm picking up pretty much everything I can find. I'm still at a stage where everything I find can be put to use, and the faster I level up foraging, the more I'll be able to find out here. And that's level 2 foraging. With these bowls, I can also make salads, which will be vital to keeping my happiness up through these withdrawals. While light on calories, I can make them out of practically anything that I can find. Speaking of fishing, I'll need worms to do that, so I make a trowel and dig a few plots that I might use for farming later on. I can fish with bugs, but worms give you a chance at much bigger fish. I'm considering farming, but by the time I have enough seeds to plant, it might be too late in the season. I might just be better off foraging, but I want to be prepared either way. I also start looking into making improved axes and additional tools such as a hammer and saw. For my plans, I'll need to cut down hundreds of trees, and the basic axe breaks after just one. I'll be in trouble if it starts storming before I have a real roof over my head, and that's a long way away. With no watch, I can only tell time by looking at the sun. It's starting to get late, so I cook my pepper for my first hot meal since starting my journey. I realized I can make an improvised backpack. This will make my foraging runs a lot longer. It's going to be important to have an exercise routine. My strength and fitness are pretty good, but the higher those are, the more I can do in a day. I also added a mod for the efficiency skill. At low levels, I do things significantly slower, but at the highest levels, it's about 50% faster. There's just a little bit of time left in the day, so I use the rest of my planks to make a small foundation for my future home. After a productive second day, I head to bed. I wake up hungry but ready to forage all day. I head out west knowing I don't have a map, but I can use the water's edge to get back home. While I'm out, I manage to scratch my leg on a tree, and it's a laceration. I'm bleeding bad and I start to panic. Thinking quick, I rip my shirt and bandage up my leg. I won't be able to replace the shirt for a while, but it could be a lot worse. I decide to head on home as I'm bleeding pretty bad with only a few rib sheets left. That's okay though, I've managed to forage quite a lot already, including a couple small animals. I'm terrified of blood, so it'll be tough to butcher them, but the leather is invaluable and I can make jerky out of the meat. I decide to spend some time working on carpentry until the bleeding stops, and I soon realize just how many stones I'll need for this grind. I have a few saved up, so I don't need to worry about it just yet. For now, I'm focused on getting my first couple carpentry levels. To make a roof, you need level 6 carpentry, which is hundreds of logs away. For a base, I'm thinking something medium-sized. I want a space big enough that I can spend a couple days inside if I need to during a big storm, or winter if it gets too cold. I also want to be able to build something without spending too long getting logs. I can always expand if I need to. I also put down my first couple crates for some much needed storage. I want all my material crates in the same area so I can easily see what items I can craft. This crate near the water is for fishing. I want to be able to fish from my base in case it rains. Another great thing about salads, you can toss in stale food without taking a happiness hit, and I'll take all the happiness I can get, because these withdrawals are going to be rough. Before bed, I find that I have enough materials to make a metal hammer. This is huge, as this quality tool shouldn't degrade. I even get a metalworking level, which is cool, but it'll be a long time before it's useful. I end the day in high spirits, but still in pain from my wound. I wake up on day 4 with my laceration infected. I'm not surprised, but I'll have a bit of a limp while foraging today. When foraging in Project Zomboid, you can search for types of loot, including stones. While stones are my focus, I want to level up my foraging a bit more before limiting my finds, as stones give less experience. And that's level 2 first aid. I did find a crowbar, but since I have no use for it, I'm scrapping it for metal. Kind of a weird feeling with how useful it is normally. I'm having great luck with the small animals for jerky, and I should have a good supply if I need it. After 4 days, I'm starting to feel like a true outdoorsman. I'm proud of this little space I've created, and it feels good to sit down and enjoy a meal knowing I have some time to spare. I decided to try fishing for a little bit. Even though I don't need to now, I don't even have a pot to cook them, your chance of catching fish is determined by your fishing level. During winter, your base chance goes down by 20%, so you need at least level 4 fishing if you want even a 5% chance at catching a fish. I do happen to have enough metal to make a cooking pot. The metal from this took 15 stones to make, a costly investment, but absolutely worth it. Soup will be my primary way of gaining calories in this run. If I become underweight, I'll take a hit to my strength and stamina, which means I can do less during the day. Soups also utilize practically every item I can forage and give a lot of happiness. You can track my calories by looking at the bar at the top left, and right now it's basically at 0, meaning I've been rapidly losing weight. I wake up to heavy fog. Not as bad as a storm, but I can't really go out and forage in this. Your visibility gets a huge debuff, and even with the lake, I could get lost. Another day, another 5 axes, am I right? I try making a shovel out of my trowel. It gives me the option to dig for worms. It's good to start on this now, as you can't dig for them during the winter, and they never go bad. I also do a bit more fishing. My calories are still on the lower side, and fishing experience is dreadfully slow, so I want to get ahead of it now. While I'm making a soup, it looks like the fog's already clearing up, so I'll still have a chance to forage today. Nice. I set out for a short afternoon of foraging. I don't find anything particularly notable, but I'm already at level 8 foraging. I spend the rest of the day gathering logs. I'm already at level 3 carpentry, but that's not even 20% of the experience needed for level 6. I head to bed and wake up to a big problem. Rain. If I get too wet, I have a high chance of getting sick, and then I'm useless until I'm better, while also having to eat a lot of extra food. With no better option, I decide to go out foraging. It's only lightly raining now, so hopefully it stays like that. Level 9 foraging, let's go. I find myself on the complete opposite side of the lake, so I check my map, forgetting I don't actually have one. At least I can follow the lake's edge back. I can utilize berries to hunt for frogs, which is a great way to utilize them. I make it back home before dark after a monumental foraging run. This may be the most stones I've ever gotten in one trip, as well as a couple animals to skin. To top it all off, the rain stops, giving me a bit more time to make a roof. To wrap up the day, I do a bit of chores. I always like to chop a couple trees, do my sit-ups, and craft anything new. With all my stone, I've been able to make quite a few metal sheets, but I realized to make a metal axe, I'm just about a third of the way there. I call it a night. I have a lot of foraging ahead of me. While I'm out, I realize I can make a digital watch. It won't tell me the date, but it would be cool to have. I also scratch myself again. Thankfully this time though, it's just a scratch. There are hours of footage of me foraging, so there's no way I could show all of it. I will, however, try and show my notable finds. Back at base, I plan out my major crafting goals. Of course there's the axe, but I also want to make a padded jacket for the upcoming fall. I head to bed and wake up to a treat. My wound has already healed. It's time to shift gears. I've realized that I'm not going to be making an axe anytime soon, so I might as well start working on my new home. I have enough stones that I can make plenty of stone axes, and I can repurpose the metal meant for the axe for nails. I also throw down a compost container for all my rotten food. I see a military helicopter flying overhead, reminding me of my old life. I've heard a couple gunshots during the night that I thought were hunters, but maybe something else is going on out there. Nah, that's crazy. Hopefully they don't see me down here though. This is protected land and it's off limits. The house is coming together nicely and should be nearly finished in just a couple days. The roof is still pretty far off though. I'm only 4 carpentry, which is not even half the total experience to 6. I spend the evening training tailoring by spinning twine from thread. I'm currently level 2, but I'll need level 4 for the best winter clothing. Another day ends with significant progress made. With my tailoring going up, I can start making some basics like a shirt. This ranger shirt makes me feel right at home. I take a minute to see the progress I've made so far. With 10 foraging and 4 carpentry, I've come a long way. There's still a long ways to go though. Every time I walk past my growing pile of broken tools gives me motivation to keep foraging for my ultimate prize, the metal axe. It was like the forest wanted me to have this axe. I just kept finding stone after stone. Ironically, I'd be using this axe to cut down a lot of this forest. Don't mind these random 30 frogs in a crate. I will have to use some of this stone for nails. I am okay with delaying the axe in favor of a roof though. It's one piece of metal for 25 nails, so I won't have to use too many. I'm making huge progress on the house and my carpentry levels today. The one negative of all this progress is that it's high calorie work, but I think I'll be alright for now. Every couple days, I like to wash myself and my clothes. It doesn't have any explicit benefits, but it's nice to see myself looking clean for a change. I finally made myself a pair of pants to replace the suit pants I started with. Today's the day we finish the house, which means a few more broken axes and dipping into my beef jerky supply. Moving forward, I will be skipping ahead as I'll have days where it's raining and I can't go outside. Or I just forage and do chores and don't find anything notable. It's hard to tell as I don't have a watch saying the day, but you'll notice as the seasons change. Now that the house is complete, I decided that building flooring and disassembling it is the most efficient way to level 6 carpentry. A couple days later, I finally hit the level required for a roof. And by roof I mean a staircase. There is no unique roof model, but you need a way to go up and place flooring down, and stairs are the only way. It feels so good to have protection from the rain now, and I decided to reward myself with my first hot meal in days and some much needed calories. I have been slowly leveling cooking, but the benefits are minuscule and mostly influence nutrition. Now that the pressure is off from carpentry, I can focus on leveling up my other skills and foraging for rarer items. I decided to focus on topping off my calories first, as my weight is getting close to underweight and it will be hard to maintain the colder it gets. My efficiency level is level 8 now, meaning I complete actions about 30% faster. Seemingly out of nowhere, I come down with food poisoning. I wasn't able to find what caused it in the footage, but thankfully I have lemongrass, which calms the symptoms. I decided to go to sleep early, just in case. Now I can focus on foraging. Other than stones, I'm looking for forest treasures, which have an incredibly broad loot table, which includes everything from weapons to skill magazines. We're in the middle of summer right now, and it's starting to get pretty hot. I decided to add another entrance away from the fire. If you've watched our multiplayer wilderness survival series, you'll know the dangers of having a fire near a walkway. I might move the fire later on, but there's a lot of firewood in it already I'd like to use up. And now it's time for fun foraging facts. So I went into the code to see just what my chances of getting specific items were. Here's the eggplant item, which shows there are months where you're more likely or less likely to find it. It also shows which type of terrain you can find it in, and the overarching category. Turns out there are a lot of items you can forage, like over 500, and the ones I'm looking for are less than 1% of 1% to find, but I found the item I want on this list, and that item is a pair of scissors. And a propane tank would be pretty cool. Hey, speaking of foraging, I just finished a trip and got a bunch of stones and a magazine. I'll save that for if I ever need the stress reduction. Considering how much progress I've made in the past couple days, it would still be nice to finish the home off and get stuff organized around here. It would be helpful to have all my crafting materials in one place, so I know exactly what I have the materials to make. I thought I heard machine gun fire during the night, but maybe it was just the rain. Speaking of which, it feels so good to not be worried about getting wet. So good, in fact, that I feel comfortable spending the day building more of my roof. I don't mind getting a little wet, but if I do, I can just stay inside until I dry off. While looking at my recipes, I see I have the materials to make a bed. This would be a huge upgrade, as my sleep quality in the tent is pretty bad and I often wake up with neck pain. And I get a tailoring level out of it. So I build the bed and, for some reason, I'm not able to sleep in it. I was not able to figure this out, so let me know in the comments if you know why. At least I can still lay in it to rest. It's time to start cleaning this camp up. It's a mess out here. Now that I'm done making nails out of metal, I can turn all my scrap into metal sheets to see how close I am to the axe. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm 2/3 of the way. To give some context, you need 4 metal scrap to make a small metal sheet and 5 small metal sheets to make a large one. Including the pipe you need for the handle, that's 80 stones overall. It's a constant battle with the stress from my smoking withdrawal, so I'm still eating a lot of salads. Hopefully I get over this soon. Taking a look at my character, I'm steadily gaining weight again. I've also made some huge progress on my skills. I would like to eventually get 8 carpentry to upgrade my walls and level 4 tailoring for better winter gear, but there's no rush. Fishing levels would be nice too, but with my supply of beef jerky, I'm not as worried as I was. I have been slacking on my sit-ups to train fitness. You get bonus experience based on how regularly you've been doing them, and you get less sore the next day. Sometimes I mess up my sleep schedule, so I just chill and watch the sunrise. I've been getting a lot of rain, which makes me think it's starting to become fall. That means colder weather and a different loot table foraging. I just about finished the roof, so I'll have enough space in my home if I need to stay in. I always like to go out foraging after it rains. After a storm, you get a slightly better loot table, and I always want to take advantage. I'm still on the hunt for scissors and my skills magazines. With the scissors, I'll be able to cut fabrics for some higher-end tailoring recipes, such as upgrading my backpack. While I'm out foraging, I find the final metal sheet I need for my axe. I sprint back home. This will be my biggest upgrade yet. I almost can't believe it. This axe has taken me months of in-game time to make, requiring nearly 100 stone. It'll be nice to not have to waste stones on tools that break after one tree. I still have a lot of plans for building, and this axe will save me hours over time. Oh yeah, that was worth the grind. I take some time to plan out the rest of my building. Right now the home is functional, but I want to make it feel like, well, a home. I'd love to get all my crafting materials in one area so I can see exactly what recipes I can make, and have a shed to put my farming items or tools in. A fence might be nice too. It doesn't take me long to finish the rest of the roof, and make a little awning so I'm not completely confined to the indoors. I also try to make a little dock for fishing, but it doesn't look like that's going to be possible. It looks horrible when I try and disassemble the flooring too, so I think I'll just leave it despite not being able to use it. It doesn't take me long to make a little deck outside, and a couple crates so I can start moving materials inside. It feels great to have all this consolidated in one place. I start focusing on tailoring a bit more and going through the warmer clothing I can make. I've noticed in the morning that I've been waking up chilly again, and I want to be prepared for it to only get colder. I make warmer socks, some winter gloves, a ski mask, and a scarf that I can have ready when I need them. A great start to my winter gear. I also realize I have the materials to make a better backpack, the big hiking bag. This will give me about 50% more backpack space, greatly extending my foraging runs. This type of backpack can be upgraded too, but I'll need scissors for that. I wake up to see most of my food has gone rotten, so it's time to focus on foraging for a while. Up until now, I've been focusing on stones, but I can change my focus to miscellaneous items that'll be a lot more useful at this point. Aside from the utility, I also want to collect the items I find and create an area to display them. With the newspaper I found, I realized I can make the Bear Grylls Guide. This teaches some recipes related to the outdoors. It gives a lot of stress reduction and happiness to read, but it's currently bugged so that you can read it multiple times. In the spirit of the run, I decide I'll only read it once. I put down a table in my home so I can display my finds. Kind of like a little museum. I'm starting to lose weight again and it's raining, so it's a perfect time to do some fishing. One thing I've been wanting to do is fill up an entire large container of fresh water in my home. This will save me some time filling up my water bottle, but it'll also be nice to not have to always start a fire. Just a nice quality of life thing. The watch would be cool to make, but I'll need to forage some glue. There's still a lot of higher end crafting recipes I want to make, but for now I can make a pair of boots and a padded jacket, which are two of the best tailored items I can create. I have a lot of extra metal now, so I'll be making a lot of nails to do more building. As always, after some rain, I always go out foraging. I have some really good luck this time finding a wide variety of items. I've been encountering an interesting bug where all the animals I pick up are rotted, so no leather for me. I make myself a wooden churn and a cheese mold. I don't think there's any chance I'll be getting milk on this run, but they make a nice decoration for the home. I've been hearing gunshots more frequently. It's not hunting season, so I'm starting to get nervous. While I'm out foraging, I finally hit level 8 strength. This will increase my maximum carry weight, further extending foraging runs. I found a mirror while I was out, and for the first time in half a year, I see my reflection. I hardly recognize myself, but I like the man I've become. It's time to really start building. The axe will start to degrade over time, but I have enough materials to repair it, so it should last for hundreds of trees. The first step is to build a walkway all the way around the base. Most of this building is just for the aesthetics, though it will prevent any grass or trees from growing too close. I've hit a stage in this run where I don't have any short-term challenges, and I feel prepared for winter. We'll see if I did a good enough job, but for now it's nice to spend some time focusing on just making things look nice, rather than functional. It feels great to end the day making so much progress. I wake up to see the biggest rainstorm yet. On days like this, it's sometimes just nice to sit back and take it all in. I left Civilization because I was constantly working, so these moments where I can sit down and just enjoy what I've created are what this journey is all about. With my calorie intake back under control, I can spend the rest of the day finishing the exterior fence. I'm starting to get close to level 7 carpentry, but that's still a long way to go to upgrade my walls. If I had to guess, I say it's sometime in early October right now. Winter officially starts in December, so I don't have much longer until my daily activities drastically change. I'm also really close to level 4 fishing, which will give me a 6% chance to catch a fish during winter compared to a 26% chance normally. I'm still digging those worms. I have about 70 saved up so far. I also built another table as my treasure is filling up the first one. I've been sleeping in more clothes and still waking up cold. I'm wondering if this will be enough for what's coming. I do have a couple more tailoring items I can make if I really need to. I have a huge day foraging. I find a new friend, Molly the Mole, and an engineering magazine. This isn't really useful as it only allows me to make smoke bombs, but it's still cool to have and incredibly rare. I start building out a path toward my farm plots. Even though I'm not using them currently, I want to open up the possibility of using them this spring. I also want to build a shed out here, and this would be a great spot. It kind of blows my mind that I haven't gotten a single level in axes. The wiki says chopping trees doesn't give experience, but that's clearly not the case. It is slow though. I make a little jack-o'-lantern out of a pumpkin I found, but I can't light it without a candle. Sad, but at least I can still eat it. Continuing the theme of sprucing up the home, I make a nice little eating area outside. There's a roof overhead, and this will make a perfect spot to relax on a day with bad weather. I also put down another crate, as with all the foraging recently, my first food crate is all filled up. On one of my foraging runs, I managed to scratch myself in the neck. My scarf is instantly destroyed and I start losing health rapidly. Luckily I come prepared now with sterilized bandages, but if that was a laceration, I could be in trouble. I decide to stay in the rest of the day and take it easy. While not threatening on its own, if I was to get another wound out in the woods, I could be in trouble, especially a laceration in a vital area. It's about now I start going down the rabbit hole of one item that's been gating late game crafting recipes. I find that I can crush stones into sand and gravel, which are the building blocks of concrete. It would be nice to make actual concrete, but to do so, I would need to make a forge, which requires an extremely rare crafting magazine. The odds are about 1 in 100,000, but with all the foraging I do, it's not impossible. Leveling up first aid is interesting because you can only do it when you're hurt. I do have slow healer, so I guess I'm not surprised I've gotten a few levels. With winter around the corner, I decided to stockpile a few fish and catch the one fish I was getting worms for, the pike. This fish can be up to 4 feet long and alone gives almost 10,000 calories. This one fish alone will completely top off my calories, which is great as I had been getting pretty low. I'm starting to have to bundle up going out during the day now. My weight is back in a comfortable spot again, and it would be nice to find some scissors to trim this beard. It's time to start working on this shed. This won't be too big of a project, and it will be about a third the size of my house. It should be enough to bring me to 8 crafting so I can upgrade my walls. They don't have any functional bonuses over the walls I currently have, as there's no kind of insulation in this game, but they do look a lot nicer. I also get level 9 efficiency, which will make my actions about 40% faster. Over the course of months, this will save me hours of in-game time. I do set up a couple traps far away from my base to see if I'll have any luck. I'm not really in need of any additional food, but the extra leather could be helpful. It would be a lot more passive than fishing too, and could save me some time once winter hits. The metal axe is showing its usefulness, as I've managed to make over 100 planks over the course of a few days. The only limiting factor is my exhaustion, as I'm not max fitness. I also do manage to hit level 8 carpentry, the last big milestone, allowing me to upgrade my walls to the highest tier. Luckily, I can also use this staircase to reach the top of my shed and put a roof in. The days are getting a lot shorter and colder. We must be in November by now. In between clips, I'm still doing my regular foraging runs, but with the changing seasons, I've been finding less than normal. With winter approaching, I've been considering any major goals I have left. Project Zomboid isn't a game you beat, as this is normally the story of how you died. But what if you don't? For now, I'd like to focus on collecting as many foraged items from civilization as I can, and creating an area to display all of them. I have considered just spawning in the smithing magazine, as that would open up hundreds of recipes related to metalworking. I think I landed on not doing that until I've done an entire year, and if people want me to do another year on this character, maybe I will. I don't know though, let me know in the comments what you think. Also, if you've been watching up to this point, consider subscribing to the channel. Along with videos like this, we also do multiplayer challenge videos that are a lot of fun too, and subscribing is the best way to support us. With the shed fully built and the home pretty much complete, I can spend some time cleaning up all the leftover sticks and twigs in the yard. Can you believe this entire area was filled with trees? I must have chopped down over 200 at this point. I did finally move the fire to a corner I would never walk in. I can't imagine catching on fire and all of this ending because of a simple mistake. And finally, after many months in the wilderness, I noticed that I'm not stressed anymore from a lack of smoking. For the first time, I won't have to be packing my meals with extra herbs to lower my stress. I realized that with my extra metal, I can make a couple doors, which would be a nice touch for the shed and the base. Each door takes about 10 stone worth of metal but without the ability to do metalworking yet, I'd rather do this than continue to stockpile them. At max level foraging, I'm getting about 15 stone per trip, so I've amassed quite a lot of stone. It really blows my mind all of the things you can find foraging. None of the items currently on these tables have any functional use for me, other than a couple small items I could turn into scrap metal if I really wanted. Some items in particular are quite rare, with footballs having less than 1 in 1,000 chance to find. With these tables almost completely filled up, I'll have to build a separate area to display my finds. I decided it would be nice to fence in my farming area too. Now that I'm carpentry level 8, I realize I can make a higher quality fence. I don't think I'll go replace the old fence just yet. I kind of like the rustic look. I decided to do some fishing, and it looks like it must be early December by now. I have to be completely bundled up to not get cold outside, and my chance to catch a fish seems to be drastically lower. I'm glad I got at least level 4 fishing though. This is the furnace I was talking about. Aside from needing 50 stone and bellows, which require 10 leather to make, I need the Metalworking 101 magazine, which truthfully, I'm not even sure is on the foraging drop table since it's a modded item. I could also have taken the metalworker profession, which was a bit of an oversight, but I didn't think I'd make it this far. I'm starting to get so many crafting materials I need another crate. Thankfully with higher carpentry, these new crates have more space. I've decided on the roof for my little museum to display all of my finds. I built a few tables because even though it'll be winter, I plan to forage pretty much non-stop moving forward. Even if I don't find the magazine I'm looking for, there's a lot of potential. I found another friend to join my crew. We'll name him Moldy, as he's been out there quite a while and he's not as cool as Barry, who's been with me since week 1. It's still getting colder, so I make a pair of backup pants that aren't quite as warm, but I might use while I'm foraging as I can always run around a little to warm up, and I don't want my better pants getting ripped. I also knit a pair of winter gloves, which are better than the ones I'm currently using. With max level foraging and not as much food on the ground, I'm nearly overwhelmed with how many things I'm finding. I managed to find some glue and even some welding rods. With no need for bugs, I've been making a little collection of them here, just for fun. I've also managed to gather a sizable stockpile of stone and metal again after all the nails I've used. I don't have any plans for it currently, but it's good to have. Now without my withdrawals, I'm in great shape. My character is the healthiest he's ever been with good weight, and I've been consistent with my exercises too. Fitness is one of the slowest skills to level in the game at higher levels, so I don't expect to hit level 9 anytime soon, but it's good to be making progress. Some days it just pours rain the entire day. I'm surprised that it's not snowing given how cold it is, but it must be right on the edge. Even though I spend some days sitting and enjoying the ambiance, I still try to make time to cut logs and continue building my museum. Then I get hit with the hardest storm yet, lasting days. I'm safe inside, but I don't really want to go out in this. I'm afraid this may become the bulk of my winter. We are definitely in winter though. While fishing, I managed to go through 15 worms while only catching a few fish. I only have about 40 worms left, and I won't be able to get more. It's finally happened, the first snow. With all the build-up to this event, it's incredible to see. I'm not freezing to death, and I even have some fresh soup to eat. Like a kid on Christmas, I run outside, ready to forage and see what I can find. And then turn back as the snow turns to rain. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I cut some trees down as even with all my clothing, I'm still getting a little chilly. I do find that I can still make a t-shirt for some more insulation. It won't do much on its own, but it might be enough to keep the cold at bay. I have become quite invested in my growing pile of bugs. I put a little more work into my museum as I've been cutting at least a couple trees every day and making them into planks. I'm starting to get a feeling it's getting closer to spring, or at least at the tail end of winter. I'm starting to find more fresh food outside and an abundance of things to forage in general. Could I be getting close to my goal of 1 year in the wilderness? I also find Pancake the Hedgehog, who will be a great addition to the crew. I'm not sure if I've been slacking or what, but I still haven't reached peak exercising regularity. Whoops. With one final push, I should be able to finish off the walls of the museum. I've been seriously slacking, as you can see from all the treasures that have piled up on the tables. I also hit level 9 carpentry. I can't make anything new, but it just shows how much I've built. Oh my god. I was trying to go out the window and accidentally jumped the wall and fell. I have no idea how I didn't break a leg there. It's officially spring again, marking 1 entire year out here in the wilderness. This has been an incredible journey that, while not as difficult as a typical Zomboid playthrough, required me to think outside the box and make some tough decisions with limited resources. Everything I built or crafted felt rewarding, as there was usually a lot of effort or luck that went into it. I foraged for thousands of items, many of which are still with me today. For now, I can lay in bed with my friends and relax, and think about what's next.